Going back to these two lovely drawings of Alex's, this shows the modern leg action through the ball and the extension through the hit. In the old-fashioned leg action, the club flipped over. This is the healthy thing. Now Watson would finish with a left knee flexed, whereas Nicklaus would finish with the left leg actually pretty straight. But this extension through the ball is the key. And here's the great Lee Trevino. You can just see that everything is driving the ball towards the target. That golf ball is so busy going forwards, it can't even think about going sideways. Now, when you understand leg action and knee flex, you start to understand weight transfer. And what I want to talk about in this section particularly is how the knees are affected by weight shift and the shot that you're hitting. Let's go to the explainer to see what I mean. So here I am in the Explanar golf training system. It's vital that we set Explanar to the correct height for my physique. Put the power roller onto the hoop and I take my address position. And what you should find is that the hoop is aligned through my upper sternum. Now, the gentleman called Paul Hurrian, who's a sports scientist and has established the Quintic Putting Laboratory. He's much sought after on the tour for putting lessons and for information about the biomechanics. And Paul and I had often chatted at golf fairs and in aircraft lounges. We'd talked about the golf swing. And Paul showed me his work upon knee flex and of weight shift in great players. Now, mostly, if you put pressure pads under my feet, as Paul does, the weight shift is like a figure of 8. It goes left heel, front of the right foot, right heel, and then back onto left. It's a figure of 8. But what Paul proved with his pressure pads is that the great players, they may be a mild figure 8 going back, but almost all of them, the weight shift is linear. It's towards the target. And the better the player, the longer that journey continues. Now, I think you can see the link. If you are doing this and flipping, the left leg straightening, losing the knee flex, then you're departing and your weight shift is poor. But if I go, like Tom Watson, through impact of Trevino, if I go through, you can see that my weight shift is linear, it's towards the target. Now, the better my extension, the further I go down that line. And what Paul explained to me was that the better the player, the longer that transition is linear, and the later the club turns around the corner. So, Paul came down to explain our centre, and he saw me hit some drivers, just normal driver shots with the pressure pads under my feet. And sure enough, I described a mild figure of 8 with my weight shift. Then Paul put the pressure pads under my feet as I stood in the explainer. And he was in front of me with all the dials and bells and whistles, and I started to swing the roller. And I'm happy to report that on the third full swing I made, my weight shift went linear. It wasn't a figure of 8. So, when you're making a full swing, we coil. The knee may or may not be flexed according to your type of swing and to your physique and the club that you're using. But for all of us, going through towards the target for as long as we can is a healthy thing. Particularly Trevino the fader, he could do it with the fade mechanism, but even if you've got a draw mechanism like Tom Watson, you can go through, the club's going down the line, and the weight shifts correctly. So again, you don't have to think about that. If you work on the shot, remember, the swing's for free. So if your posture and your grip are good and your alignment is good, whatever shot you hit, your knee flex and your leg shift should be an instinctive reaction to that. We're talking to you about the leg action knee flex today just so you understand it. It has no place on the golf course. If you've prepared well for the shot and you've hit the shot you intend, let the weight shift and the knee flex take care of themselves. So let me hammer home the point about knee flex and leg action. Here's my conventional mallet and my fence post. And I rest the mallet on top of the fence post. I'm looking for a square blow, obviously. Now you can see that to all intents and purposes, the arc is circular, hinging around my elbow. So if I did that without the post in the way, I would describe almost perfectly circular arc. But you know what happens in practice? The backswing is circular in nature, but we elongate the hit. Why? Because we're driving the post into the ground. So is an elongated strike. It's not just a circular blow thus, it's an elongated blow that goes down the post. You can see that. We're looking, and the longer you go down the post, the more effective the blow. Now the same is true when it comes to golf swing. I'm going to lay this post upon the floor now. So if I go and get my 6-iron mallet and present the face to the fence post, shaft leaning forward slightly, you can see that I'm going to coil and my right knee is flexed. Now, if I come in and go left and hit a glancing blow, my left leg's going to straighten. If I can coil on a flex right knee and then deliver the blow down the post, the longer I go down the post, the better my weight shift. There's the linear weight shift of the good player that Paul Hurrian has shown me so clearly with his research. So, as we extend the hit, as we drive the club head down the target line, the weight is shifting, my left knee is staying flexed. Look how long the club face is on the fence post for. Now, who does that remind you of?